the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour U, and it's a nice little pathway, that have shown a lot of these young guys to get their cards and make a lot of money quickly. Blades Brown this weekend. But we saw Liv, right, do the one thing that I actually might like watch them for potentially.
Name the guy. Name the guy they signed. What's his name?
Sasso. But that's just because he was on Mad TV.
Yeah, Will Sasso. Yeah, he got into a feud in WCW with Bret Hart at one point.
No, I don't. Yeah, no, but like I would watch Ballesteros versus Sasso. But listen. The thing is, these guys like would have had big sponsorships, but they're so young. You just take the bag and you can still figure it out after the fact.
Michael La Sasso is his name, not just Sasso. It's La Sasso.
Like would have gotten there.
At Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience Farmers Insurance Open 2026. Picks, bets, preview, one and done, all here. Jeffrey, how you holding up in the snow?
I'm doing okay. I mean, we're buried in deep, but it's a nice, fluffy, light shovel, blows away nice. Wish I had more food that I liked. I wasn't really proactive on that front.
It's never good. You want to be prepared.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, you've got to be. I'm not going to order like DoorDash in a storm. Like, that's just not me. That's just not me. It feels weird. Maybe I'm like cheap. Maybe I don't want to like tip like 10x, but I'm just not doing it. Just so, yeah.
Hopefully you have enough at home to get you through the day and then.
Oh yeah, I'm not like starving, but I just mean like, it's like yesterday was football. It's a long day. It was over early. I just couldn't go. I did. I abandoned my family during dinner time because the times are awkward on Championship Sunday. And I was like hungry later, and I like normally would have gone for like a snack, but
Well,
I know, poor me. I know. I'm just saying. That's all. I got no complaints. I'm safe. I'm warm. Kids are home from school today. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Everyone's home.
Yeah, same as us. No school today for the kids, and Cust is already trying to wiggle out of our recording later on because he has to make his 5-minute drive to the office, and it's not bad at all.
He also lives in an underground, like he lives in a building. So he just comes out into an underground lot, and the roads are fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you're buried in and getting out of like your own driveway is sometimes the biggest issue. But once you're done with that, I think you're all right. And he has none of that. And then he's got all these rules for how other people are supposed to shovel while he's in his ivory tower in the penthouse.
A lot of people sending us stuff. It's going to be a fun. I think he's going to come. It'll be a fun football show because a lot of gloating we're going to get from him. Even Bobo scored a touchdown, so it was good for Cust on championship weekend with Darnold going to the Super Bowl. Although I did tell him, I'll preface it by this, that all of the cursing he's done to get Sam Darnold to the Super Bowl might have the worst effect possible for him that ends up with a Patriot Super Bowl.
Yes, Sam Darnold truthers, can't believe we're here. We made it. I was giggling to myself yesterday how like Bobo props are probably going to be out of whack. Cause I don't know. I like in my group, like everyone loves Bobo.
Yeah. I told Cam on the Best Bet show, cause he was all about Bobo too. I was like, if his name was Dave Smith, you wouldn't give a fuck about this guy.
I'm guilty of this too. We do golf, sometimes a name will lock you in.
Like prodigious power hitter, Seamus Power, who's not.
Here we go. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited. I think for the Super Bowl, even though football season's over, I'm excited for the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll talk about that on the football show. We might even do some Winter Olympics as well because that starts next week. Let's talk Amex though. I watched a ton of the Amex. It's when there's only it was almost the same as last week too with the Sony. When there's only one football game going, you just get the double screen on the go. Super easy to follow along. I was feeling good, as were every single one of my internet buddies who all bet on Siwoo Kim. I assume that you had Siwoo Kim too, right?
I didn't miss my one and done. I didn't bet him. I had Matt McCarty. Had a lot of guys that were You'll bet like Tom Hoagie live 175 to 1. Just, shout out to Byron. That one almost, whatever. No. I saw Scotty hit the putt to end Saturday, and that, it's just so demoralizing, Pat. I mean, obviously having Siwoo, you sort of maybe saw the writing on the wall there.
Well, so yes and no, because when you have Siwoo in the position he's in, if it's going to be Scotty who's tracking him down, which it was, Siwoo is exactly the type of guy I want in that situation. Not saying he's going to win in that situation, but he's just going to go out and fire. He's not going to hold it back, and he had his chance. Like when you see the final score and Scotty wins by so much, it ended up being a runaway. But through the first 5 holes, Siwoo had a chance to stomp him on the throat. And that was going to be, I wouldn't say the end of it, but it would have put Scotty in a pretty big deficit. It wouldn't allow him just to kind of get into Scotty mode and just freewheel the entire time. He leaves a putt half a rotation short on 1 for birdie. He makes it on 2. 3, everyone just kind of screws around on that hole. And then 4, he leaves it a half rotation short. And then to compensate on 5, he blows it by the whole hole. These are all really makeable birdie putts. And guys aren't going to make every single 12-footer, I guess, unless you're Scotty for par every single time, anytime that you're in a jam. But Scotty even has the bad bunker shot. He bogeys number 2. It was there to grab like a 3-4 stroke lead in the first few holes. Then he double bogeys the par 5 and just goes ejecto mode.
Yeah. Oh, it's there for the Broncos to be up 2 scores, but didn't happen. I agree, but listen. It's just very demoralizing if Scotty's going to win the AMEX, because I agree with your sentiment that, those are the events where his strengths are neutralized and he's just too good, man. We're in big trouble. I'm excited for this week.
Yeah, no Scotty at the Farmers this time around, but just even like 4 of his approach shots on the front 9, I think he hit 4 of them to inside 2 feet. Like, what are you going to do? When he gets into, he got into Scotty God mode and you couldn't stop him. And he was putting.
The only way to beat this thing this year is, I got to be on my phone more on a Monday than I already was previously, just to try to get the without markets where the math's in my favor. I don't know what, it's maybe morning after hyperbole, and I am more impressed when they win these events than the goddamn majors. I know that's like a psycho thing to say, but he's not supposed to be here to start and win. It's just not supposed to work like that. Deserved favorite, should be the favorite by leaps and bounds. But to win by touchdowns, I don't know, man. Even if it didn't end up a touchdown, fuck, man. A wedge little putting contests are now his too. I'm not complaining. I'm more whatever. I was very lightly exposed. I didn't have Siwoo Kim, so I never really felt like I had a chance to win anything. It's just I don't know. I've really got to think how I'm going to bet when he's playing, because I'm not doing it again. I thought Kirshner was nuts for playing the without markets this week. Now, granted, I didn't really look at them. Maybe the numbers were on point in that respect to what the actual numbers were, but I was like, this guy's crazy. Playing the without markets at the AMEX? Oh, I don't think he hit a winner, but not crazy.
I saw a few people had Andrew Putnam in the without Scotty market, which I think ended up being a 3-way chop, but still, I think it was 600 to 1. So it got cut down to 200 to 1. I ended up winning money because I had Matt McCarty, who came in second, and his each way paid 25 to 1. So the each way market, the top 10 market, is maybe if you're going to allocate some money towards it, just do it in that market if you're that afraid of Scotty.
Yeah,
you'll return more profit.
130 to 1. I didn't each way nothing.
That sucks.
Well, it's not how I'm going to do it. And I feel like where I could have each weighted, it was 80 to 1. So by the time I was ready to bet on him, I don't know, whatever. Lovely week. I enjoyed, people get way too tilted with the coverage.
What were people upset about this time around?
Well, I get it. There's not shot tracker. it's just so disjointed because guys are on, even through Saturday, people are on like timelines that don't correlate to the scoring, right? With the tee times. I mean, I don't know. It's just background popcorn noise in a snowstorm.
It was nice. It was nice to have. I watched it until the football started, and then football was on. So the sound went to football, and then I just got to watch it without sound. It was very enjoyable. Jason Day was out there making moves for Cust, one and done. Took the lead in the one and done against us.
Why? What did Siwoo finish?
6th.
Oh, yeah, see? Kind of turned it. Like, if you thought I watched, like, Scotty march home, no.
Actually, no, you actually ended up with, let's see. Oh, did Cust take Burns last? He took Burns last week. For some reason, I thought he took Jason Day. Never mind. You're winning the one and done.
Man. Yeah,
shows you the importance of getting a T21 in the one and done. It's worth nothing, by the way. Thanks, Ben Griffin. Couldn't make a pot on. Well, that was the Matt McCarty problem on Sunday. Dude could not putt. He gagged. I think it was 4 putts inside 12 feet on the front 9, all for birdie. And just, you're not going to beat Scotty or even contend with Scotty if you don't make them. But I had the sweat of all sweats going on. I had Zach Bashu for a top 8 finish, and it was going to pay 200 to 1. Off his like 1,000 to 1, and the each way of the top 8 was going to pay 200 to 1. And he got himself in there. He was T4 for a while, and it felt like he needed one more to come home. He needed to get to minus 22 in order to do it, like in the moment. That's what it felt like. And he had a 6-foot birdie putt on 16, and just you could see him in the background missing it while they were trying to do Jason Day coverage. He misses the birdie putt from like 17 feet on 17. Then he puts it in the water on 18 to fall to, he ended up bogey. He ended up falling to minus 20 and minus 21. Well, it wouldn't have been the full top 8 payout. It was top 8, which is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, it sucks. Anyone who like finished like top 6 or 8, if you bet on them and you were tracking them all week, I'm sure you could like find the putts to have like even made up the strokes, because everyone had those same putts this week.
Oh, for sure. The greens seemed like they were playing a lot faster on Sunday than they did the first 2 rounds. You could just see with like the light touch people were going through. Although Siwoo pussying putts up a hill was just not something I was expecting from Siwoo.
Yeah, I mean, when Scotty play next, Pat? Phoenix?
Phoenix,
he doesn't do that anymore.
I mean, he's played Phoenix. Did he play Phoenix last year? No, because he returned at Pebble last year. I can't remember.
Riviera's a big event now. See, I'm a moron. I'm talking like this now. We're going to get to Riviera. I'm going to fucking fade the guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to bet him at 3 to 1. I'm just not. Sorry.
I agree not betting him at 3 to 1. There's just other ways I think I should be betting when he's playing. Full stop. I didn't think the AMEX was one of those, though.
Neither did I, but it wasn't that he shouldn't have been, as you mentioned, it's not that he shouldn't have been the favorite in the tournament. Clearly, he should have been. It's just, it's not the type of event where I wanted to back him. And he won. He's done that at 2 shootout birdie fests in a row now. We did it at CJ Cup last year, and he's done it at the American Express this time around. If he's going to putt, he's going to win. But in a tournament like this, you think someone like if an Andrew Putnam is going to make a run because he just hit every single fairway and every single green and ran a hot putter for a really long time, that usually something like that is good enough to win this event, because you don't expect Scotty to be one of the leaders in putting too.
Once he's there, like in it, at the end of like Friday, Saturday, he's going to win. But before the week, I didn't bet Andrew Putnam. I didn't bet Eric Cole. The reason I don't bet Scotty last week is I'm like, I don't know. If Putnam and Cole are live, I don't mean actually live, but like you can see the path to how they win, even at 600 to 1. I don't really want to fade Scotty in that sort of circumstance pre-tournament. So I will like bet Matt McCarty and bunch of all my guys sort of played well. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. I'm excited. I will argue that I hated like the Farmers at a bit of a lull, but now the field is at a point, Pat, where I actually think I love the Farmers. I love it. Last time ever calling it the Farmers. But I love it. It is now like it's like the poor man's major, because it's still like a major championship golf course, and there's still like a specific skill set I'm going to bet on. But there's just not the top guys here that used to always come.
I
love it. I love it.
I wrote about it in the newsletter post. So if you've read the newsletter, then you know my thoughts on it, or watched the research show, you know my thoughts on it. But I'll tell you in case you didn't. It's like the real start to the season. We just had. It always feels to me, and we have the Century as well, that you get Kapalua, you get Waialae, although I really like Waialae, then you get the American Express. It's almost like the preseason for football, where it's just a bunch of birdie fests. Guys go out, they knock the rust out, and then you get dropped into Torrey Pines, and you do get the one day where it's usually pretty easy, although Friday, or I guess it was Thursday last year because it started on a Wednesday. Round 2 at the North Course last year wasn't particularly easy because of all the wind. But normally the North Course plays easy, and then you get your like faux set up for a major championship venue at the South Course where you're going to find the 3 rounds, and it feels like a real golf tournament. Like, welcome back to golf. Oh yeah, golf is hard.
Last year I hit Straka at the AMEX and piggybacked it with English here, and then the rest of the year was just like gravy, staying above quota. And who won the year before English?
English won last year, as you just said.
Yeah, the year before him.
Mathieu Pavon?
Okay, that was a bit of a where did he come from? But I would say even in the like the schedule turning its back on this event, I wanted to say there's still like a specific type of player that like you need to fill your card with here.
You see, I agree to a point, because the winners that we've seen don't fit the type of player that you're talking about. The last time that we saw a player like you're talking about win was when Luke List ended up winning. But surrounding that, you got Leishman, Reed, Pavon, and English, who are not 4 guys that you would associate with the type of player that you're thinking of.
Yes, but outside of like Pavon, all those guys are like big boy players, and they've either like won or contended well in major championship golf historically.
Yeah, there's a guys that played Bay Hill kind of rings a bell with guys that have won at both those courses or tend to show up really. What's that?
How about Patty Reed?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go with. Patty Reed wins overseas, first DP World Tour win in like 5 years.
Only Team Reed. I love them. Like even through all of it, what an elite Team Reed move. He wins the goddamn golf tournament, and we could talk about how people like flooded the one book that had good Masters odds on him yesterday. But he's in Ace's hat. He's in an Ace's shirt. He says, "I'm a free agent, but we're negotiating." I swear to God, Justine got a hold of him before he went on camera. They're like, I'm obsessed with their opulence. I am. Like, if you've ever seen any of like the behind the scenes, even like Reed put out content of like a Patrick Reed family Christmas, oh my God. Even his like intro to I'm on Live Now video of his family gallivanting around the Greenbrier. Obsessed. I am obsessed with these people in like golf orbit terminology. They're the greatest in their own way. And let's effing go. Patrick Reed, everyone's ready for Reed to win the Masters again, it seems.
Well, when you start, we did the back-to-back years where Willett won that event, then he won the Masters, then Sergio won it the next year, then he won the Masters. Why not Reed? It's not like he's bad. Even through his struggles and being out of sight, out of mind, he's still been good at Augusta.
I am not laughing at it one bit. Holy shit, Pat. Like, he put that green jacket on Tiger Woods. It might be my like favorite picture in golf of our podcast era, is that handoff. Those two guys. I joked one time with my wife when we moved into our house around that part. I was like, could I get someone to like make that a mural inside this like double door closet, like on the inside? Like, yeah, I don't know. That didn't go well, but that's how demented my brain works. Who won the Masters last year? Scotty? I just say Scotty and assume it's Scotty.
Last year, Rory won the Masters.
Oh, yeah, Rory won the Masters. So, oh, my God, yeah, Rory putting on Patrick Reed. Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah,
Reed has also talked about how he kind of wants to come back to the PGA Tour.
So what do you think that's about?
I think he just wants to play everywhere. I think he's sick. I think what this all boils down to is that is Liv for sure getting the official world golf rankings? Is that happening? Like, is that a fact? Or is that something that they say that they're doing, like they said the first time, and then it didn't happen?
Yeah, maybe that's just like something that gets kicked down the road. Immelman's in charge of that now. He seems to be pretty close with the guy at the head of Liv. So I think there's legitimacy to them getting world rankings that are like weighted appropriately to what their achievements are worth in some way. But I guess your point is Reed just like wants to play all the time. There was a clip that went around viral from like the European Tour broadcast yesterday of like, I don't know who it was. But it was a lady on their broadcast who said like, this is great to see. Patrick Reed doesn't even play a lot, but you're right. He plays like 33 times a year, Pat.
Yeah,
he loves to play. And I guess what you're saying is like when he wants to just be in like Florida for 6 weeks, he just wants to be able to play the Valspar and like 3 other PGA events or something.
He does, but I also think that he's chasing the world rankings points. Like winning majors is so important to Patrick Reed. That's really outside the money, I suppose. The only thing that he really cares about. And he doesn't have super exemptions into all these things. He does for the Masters. That's it. And now where he ranks in the world, he should be kind of free to qualify for all 4 this year without having to go to a US Open sectional or perform really well at the Masters to enhance his world ranking with this Rolex Series win. I think, I don't even know where he got pushed up to. He must be in the top 20 in the world now. Patrick Reed's world number 29.
And how would you, I mean, listen, I look at that Brooks like laneway pathway as, they can tinker however they want it. But is people don't really include Patrick Reed when that thing like comes out, right? They include Bryson obviously and Cam Smith and think of ways for like Rahm or Hatton and Neiman. Patrick Reed is sort of on like his own. I'm just saying when that like Brooks Laneway thing came out, I didn't see any tweets being like, oh, now Patrick Reed can come back.
I think that the PGA Tour would rather have Patrick Reed back than Joaquin Neiman, honestly.
I agree because I think it goes to your point to a less. He's not Brooks Koepka. I'm not 5 major champions. Brooks his own show, but to your point, it's like the wrestling card. We don't need them to main event, but we need them to like just be part of the show. And even if they come out on Saturday and do a 15-minute segment, or whatever they call it in wrestling, that's like perfect. That's all we need out of this guy. And I think he's another guy that the PGA Tour is desperately missing, more so than like a guy who's long and straight like Neiman, as much as I'm a slut for that guy. But I'm just saying the PGA Tour would create their own pathway for Patrick Reed, I assume.
I would think so, but again, I think it just boils back down to him wanting the official world golf rankings points. That's why he's playing Asian Tour events throughout the course of the season. I think if he had his PGA Tour card back, you wouldn't see him at the Malaysian Open in October.
But he doesn't fit into the criteria that Brooks fit into, or maybe
no, because the criteria was designed just so like, hey, Brooks, you can come back right now. Perfect. All right. Like if Dustin wanted to come back, you talk about taking Liv in different ways. No one's gotten more out of like Neiman's doing like whatever. He's really good on Liv, but it feels like no one has gotten more out of Liv than Bryson and Reed. Like their games have actually gotten better since they've left. And even Reed during major championship appearances, he's as inconsistent as he always was, but he's still been very competitive in those tournaments and around the world, where Neiman's basically just been competitive on Liv, and that's been it. Anytime you get him in a real tournament, he doesn't really do anything. Hatton is kind of the same way. Like he's maintained that. Dustin has gone the complete opposite way. I think he's like the world number 700 player right now, and he's missing cuts at random DP World Tour events.
Yeah, but let's be transparent about it. Dustin like took a deal. He took a deal. He's like, this is gonna cost me Champions Tour. Like I wasn't gonna play that anyway. He was still had some majors for quite a bit. He was just like he was like a CEO looking for like the parachute. package.
And he got it, but other guys have other guys have used Liv to enhance their game. It's been few of them, but Dustin just did the exact opposite. I mean, Brooks kind of did the same thing too, but he at least won a major well on Liv.
Yes, but I don't know about you, Pat. Maybe I read too much into it. There's some guys that felt like they really attempted to like embrace Liv and sell Liv. Dustin Johnson, like, never. He like just made a business deal, sort of like Brooks Koepka, who felt, mentally down. He's like, this is the best deal for me. Still always wore his Nike hat. I don't know that there's like a Brooks Koepka quote out there championing Liv Golf. Like, he never embraced it. He just made like a deal for himself. I would say Dustin Johnson unequivocally a part of that as well. And on the other end, you had some of those like veteran Europeans that felt the need to sell for Liv.
But for all the McDowells, the Poulters, the Westwoods, all of these guys that this is the end of their career, why not take the bag? Completely understandable.
Yeah, of course.
So somehow Dustin fell into that category too at age 39.
Yes. His bag to go to Liv was like so much bigger than theirs. And Bland would have to go into the guys that benefited from Liv from
100%. Yeah, Blandy's been great.
Because it's the perfect schedule for a vet like that who cares and has game, and it set him up perfectly for the senior major circuit. Like, perfectly.
Let's talk Brooks, because Brooks is in the field this week at Farmers. His return to the PGA Tour, you can get him anywhere from 50 to 60 to 1 right now. All our odds today, powered by CoolBet.com. If you're in Canada, outside of Ontario, you get on CoolBet, all right? You hit the description, too. Maybe there's a nice little bonus in there for you, plus all of my boosted plays. I had Siwoo boosted last week. Unfortunately, that did not win. So I've only hit one boosted of the outright winners ever. It's tough when you're giving out an outright winner every single week, and it's never going to be the favorite because you're boosting them up, but it's coming. I can feel good things coming soon. Maybe this will be the week. I don't know if it's Brooks, though. Do you want to bet on Brooks?
I'm not betting on Brooks, but holy shit, if you wanted to turn this thing into maybe Disney movie is too strong a word, but it would feel like a Disney movie.
I want to see what he does this week. And these are famous last words because I believe I said the exact same thing when we were doing this show in 2017 as it pertained to John Rahm. I was like, I want to see what Rahm does this week because I want to hammer him in Phoenix because he's going to win. And then he just won the Farmers and then didn't win in Phoenix. But Brooks has won in Phoenix twice. It's next week. Get a few reps underneath of you, see how it's going. And then maybe, even if he plays poorly, like the best thing that could happen would be he like misses the cut on the number, or he has a really bad Sunday after playing pretty well through 3 rounds. You're like, all right, I've seen enough. I can get on him at a 40, 50, whatever it might be in Phoenix. But I think there's too many good players who are in okay to decent form coming in anyway that even when I wrote it up, that over his final 9 appearances on Liv last year, his best finish was T17. He made the cut of 1 of 3 majors. His 2 best performances really were his final 2 when he played with Michael Kim in France, and Michael Kim beat him, and he ended up coming in 4th. Then he was 15th at the Dunhill. Like that's really all he's done.
I agree. I also, like, if you do want to bet him this week, I would hope that he does make the cut, but you don't want him to have like too good a Sunday. Maybe you just see him like miss a couple putts that he should have made and it keeps the score down. And you just want like 4 rounds of reps on a real golf course in there. Anything even like top 50 wouldn't, like, if I wouldn't need to see much if I just want to bet him next week if he's like 50 to 1 or over. I don't think I'm in that position, Pat. You'd mentioned the run of golf. I wouldn't be. I mean, him winning would quite surprise me, despite being a 5-time major champion. And it comes down to something as simple as it's like a guy who likes to practice, doesn't like to practice, like brags about that. Now, maybe that's just all like was never true and he always practiced. But like, is he grinding? I don't know. I don't think you're going to win here with like your B- game. Like an old Brooks could against the field that you mentioned.
Underdogs expanding the game.
You already know their player picks. Pick higher or lower on player stats. Today, Underdog prediction markets are live in 25 states. Back your squad with spreads, handicap for closer game, or totals, higher or lower combined score, combined with player picks for bigger payouts. New customers play $5 on fantasy, get $75 in fantasy bonus entries. Code Mayo. Team picks, player picks, all on Underdog. Eat better. Train smarter. Maybe stop pretending frozen mystery meat is good enough. And honestly, starting strong is the easiest way when the food doesn't suck to get yourself ready to start the new year. That's where Omaha Steaks comes in. Premium, perfectly portioned protein shipped straight to my door. No guessing, no waste, just legit quality that actually fuels what you're trying to do. I loaded up on their USDA certified tender steaks and gourmet burgers, threw a couple fillets on the grill, which is out my back door, and there's not that much snow, so I can access it pretty easily. Salt, pepper, done, instantly tender. Way more flavor, better texture, zero stress compared to anything I've really cooked before. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with promo code MAYO at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code MAYO. Terms apply. See site for details.
Torrey Pines split between the north and south course. The north course is 500 yards shorter. It's on bent grass. It's much easier unless you get once in every 10-year winds, which I checked the weather report. As of right now, none of that is coming through. So you can do the DraftKings Showdown strategy. As you may recall, Jeff, I won $21,000 in the first round of this tournament last year.
Listen, I didn't even remember Rory. I forgot for a moment Rory won the Masters, so I obviously forgot that about you, Adam. But it's a great memory.
It is. It was fantastic.
I was happy that I hit an English 60-1. I didn't hit 21 grand.
Well, I had that for the Showdown contest, and then I had Potgieter at 600-1 in the final group, and that could not have gone worse.
Yeah, who else? Obviously, Ludwig got sick, and Aberg and Novak. Novak was running around there too in that final group when English got him.
Yeah, English got Novak, and Sam Stevens ended up making a run from like a group or two back, as I recall.
I was wondering why that guy was like 50-1 this week.
He just came off a really nice week at Amex as well. I looked at when I opened the odds, I was like, Zalatoris is 40-1. I was like, oh yeah, he was 7 under Sunday at the Amex, of course. If he just was even par, he'd be 80-1.
Wait, listen, I feel like this was the time last week everyone's betting people were betting Will to win the Masters. Like, yeah.
His Masters odds are still 28-1, I think.
I think he could do really well this week, Willie.
I hope so. I would like to see a return to form for Zalatoris. Yeah. The ball speed's way down, though. That's the one thing that I worry about, that he was so good off the tee, and he just simply can't have that swing anymore, that I wonder how long it's going to take him to adjust to become an elite driver again, or will he ever become an elite driver again?
I don't like how easy I feel like my card could be coming to me, but
we can, instead of just starting with the top odds, which we will get to, obviously, if you just had to like gut feeling build a card, I can give you mine right now. Ready?
Yeah.
Cam Young 24, Goddard 33, Gerard 40, Nikolai Højgaard 66, Johnny Kiefer 125. If I was just being like, hey, but let's not talk this through, who are the guys that like instinctively that I want to bet this week, that would be them.
Okay.
And who would it be for you?
Ludwig at 18.
Okay.
Ludwig off tummy aches as a 1-for-1 victory.
Hey, when's he going to get the Hideki moniker as guy who gets sick in January and February and just withdraws from tournaments? 2 years in a row now.
And honestly, it's Pendy.
That's Cust one and done this week.
Oh, no. What is he doing?
We forgot to mention Cust really laid down the hammer on Blades Brown once he figured out who Blades Brown was yesterday.
I didn't honestly, I know I'm not just saying Cust doesn't know who Taylor Pendrith was. he was eating Michelin star food in a tent while Taylor Pendrith was competing in the President's Cup. So obviously he knows who Taylor Pendrith is. But I did not think he was there at all. Oh, Cust is. Where did Cust get this from?
I don't know.
You're the only research show he watches.
I don't think he even watches that. I mean, this is coming on the heels of his tweet yesterday.
It's only for the majors where he'll watch it, then tell you back what you said.
Yes, that is a big thing he likes to do.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I'm a sucker, Pat. I like this place. It's like a mini, it's the winter major, track in Ludwig, Pendrith, Thorbjornsen, all my sorts of guys. I could be on like Neergaard Peterson, although that number never seems fair. And 70, I don't know, I can't be the only sucker. I cannot be the only sucker around.
All the Euros are really interesting to me because you got Rasmus Neergaard Peterson 75. I mean, like the odds are really weird because it took them a really long time to get the odds out at all sites. So I don't know what the hell was going on, but they're all disjointed across everywhere. Like, okay, let me ask you this now because the number is still out here for me if I want to take it. It's 24-1. It's the best number I've seen on Cam Young. Like this tracks as a Cam Young course, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Big Cam Young year, Cam Young stan.
And I'm not really a Cam Young bettor, but this is seems like a pretty good spot.
I would argue even Cantley 25 wasn't horrible. Wasn't he 25 last week?
I'm gonna take a big pass, hard pass on that. Rather bet Day, who's won here twice before.
Yeah, fair.
Hopefully that 24 is still there by the end of the show after we talk this through.
That's a cool bet.
The Goddard number has plunged already.
I will say that cool bet number is like the best on the internet, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, on Cam Young. Goddard was 33, or what was it?
It was 33. It's down to 28 now.
Yeah, I still see a couple 33 out there, but yeah, geez. I hadn't even thought about him. Maybe is he that good? I mean, he's pretty freaking good.
I found it really interesting that he wins at Sony, and listen, we know he's a low ball flight guy playing in the wind. When you reverse engineer that tournament, you're like, oh yeah, that actually makes a ton of sense. But this is a guy who came third at the Open. He won the Scottish. He just won, and he's still behind fucking Jason Day on the odds board, who hasn't won in 5 years. And now we get him at a course where the one thing that he does really well is the thing that people really want for this tournament.
It's true.
Is it just that he won? And they're like, well, he's not going to win twice.
How about was even a guy like, Jake Knapp, maybe?
Well, Knapp, I on the research show, I was all over Knapp. I was like, yeah, when he opens at 80-1, maybe you can catch 100. He opened at 40. No thanks.
Yeah, I guess with like football still here, I didn't play the game of like what I thought they'd open at and what would upset me. Can I still maybe I should? I bet Noren last week. I'm not sure how horrible he was, but I
didn't even realize Noren was in the field last week.
Maybe guy should chase that Tory title that JB Holmes stole from. Well, JB Holmes fucked him, and then Jason Day took from him.
Okay, so that's what it was. I couldn't remember for the life of me. I was doing it off the top of my head, just freestyling on the research show. I was like, Noren got screwed by JB Holmes, and I started thinking, but JB Holmes hasn't won this event. Who was it? But Jason Day. That's who it was.
Yeah, JB Holmes took like an hour on Sunday, and then it caused Noren to not get the birdie, and then he had to come back the next morning and obviously lose to like Jason Day flirting in his prime time the next morning at Torrey.
I don't even think that was Jason Day in his prime. Was it?
It was around sealing Jason Day. It was like flirting with when Jason Day was sealing Jason Day. Maybe like it bordered the year, maybe.
Jason Day was looking like primo Jason Day yesterday on Sunday. Just like, 25 feet in.
Is Ryan Gerard the new Kevin Chappell?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he is. Gerard's, I was really hoping his number wouldn't get too crazy, but I said it opened at like 33. I think it's starting to drop right now because I don't know how much action they're going to take on Gerard at 33. What's the best Gerard number? 37? Where else can we get here? Where else can we get to?
I see 52 on Gerard.
You see
I don't know where that is.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Click on. That's the one thing. I assume you're using one of the aggregation sites. You can use SharpStack for that, by the way. SharpStack has all the golf odds in there right now. Yeah, just the 52 is, I feel like that's at an inaccessible book, if I had to guess.
Yeah, if I want to bet that 52, I'd have to make a bunch of like $5. They'd let me bet $1.38 on it, and then I would have to jam $5 parlays with like live soccer games and like take the total to like -7 at like -5,000. So I'd get and they'd let me bet that in like different increments of 10, but they'd only let me bet $1 on the golfer.
Cust came out of Twitter retirement yesterday. First tweet in 8 days for just, it's Blade's day today to win the Amex.
That was, yeah, I don't know. That was why?
I don't know. It's good.
He never even seen the guy hit a golf shot before. Maybe he watched him come home on Saturday.
No chance that happened. No chance Cust was watching the Amex on Saturday.
But where did Blade, like, how does he even, why is he talking about Blades Brown beating Scotty Scheffler on Sunday morning?
Because Cust wants to call it. He continued to claim last week that he called Adam Long to win the Amex like 7 years ago when he didn't know who he was until he was in a playoff.
Cust's currency is credit.
Well, he was getting
it's not even like other people on the internet who will bet like $20 and like brag and want credit for being like hardened winners. He just credit is the ultimate currency for him.
But it's just that was simply not true.
Well,
he's just lying.
Cust
such a faulty memory.
He wants credit so bad he'll lie for it.
I guess so. Or he
Gerard,
just has
Gerard, the one thing about Gerard is like there's a lot of guys that probably played well the last couple of weeks in, easier courses, and you just wonder if they're like merchants of the events, and now this is a harder one. I'm not saying I'm betting Gerard. I'm probably not. There's the same price as Sam Stevens, just wild.
Well, he is and he isn't. At most other sites, there's a 20-point difference between those guys. At the absolute like top end odds, where you're seeing like what's a real number you found on Gerard? That's not 52.
Yeah, the most real one be 40, which maybe you can enhance to 45 there once they post those.
Now, see, I'm seeing it at 35 or 37 after because are you just looking at Odds Checker because they haven't updated the odds along with the updates?
Well, I've refreshed a bit, but let's see.
Like I'm on the site in real time where you're looking, and it's down to 36.
You could get at Bet Phillip Rivers, you could get a 40 on Gerard right now.
Okay,
that's the best number then.
Does anyone use that site?
I'm not sure. They're pretty convenient.
Okay. Let's talk about
I don't know that they let me bet very big either, but they let me bet what I need to bet.
Let's talk about the top odds in the field. Xander is the favorite along with Ludwig, depending on where you're at. Ludwig, Xander, and then Cam Young just after that at the 24 number. Then it's Siwoo, Cantlay, Day, Spawn, Goddard, Hideki, McNealy, and Keegan Bradley and Harris English are like that next rung of players. We kind of penciled this as a Ludwig win. I bet on him here last year, and then he withdrew or he got sick and threw up on the course. Then I didn't bet him 2 weeks later at the same course, and obviously he won. Do you think he's really that much, like, with him and Xander having the same odds, you really wouldn't go with Xander there?
My trust to win an event in January is pretty equal. And I'd argue Ludwig might be in better current form.
He's sick. And Xander did win in the swing season.
Tummy ache.
That's what it was last year, too. Let's not forget.
Yeah, so?
Yeah, so he played, and then he tried to play the next week and had to withdraw because he was still sick.
No, he withdrew, and then he won.
No. Yeah. He played Torrey and was sick and throwing up on the course. Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he played Pebble. He played half a round with Rory, threw up again, and withdrew from the tournament. Then he won the next week. So we still have this like middle week here.
Oh, I forgot about the middle week. I've already said I like Ludwig more than I don't think that's crazy that they should be the same number. I get a couple more points for Ludwig. I don't think that's wrong. My trust in like their ability to win this week could be pretty equal.
Okay. Is there anyone else that you would want? Like Cam Young is the one obviously who had my attention on the matter at 24-1, but outside of that, Goddard would be the next guy for me, I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm always thinking about Cam Young, but in the moment, I lean Ludwig, and then after that, I'm probably not going to make a bet until right around 50.
Well, 14 of the past 17 winners of this event had previously had a top 10 at the course. The only two, or the three that didn't, Scott Stallings was one of them, which was just one of the weirdest wins of all time. The other two were Pavant and Rahm, 2 Euros playing at their first time at the course.
I mean, one feels very right, and the other feels weird. So I don't know. They'll cancel each other out. I don't know. I've had pretty good luck at Torrey Pines, and I'm not changing how I bet this thing. I don't care what the field strength is. The lower the field makes me like it because I can bet on shitty guys that I feel are on my brand and that work it well around here, or should work it well around here.
Okay, so I think it's going to be Cam Young for me from the top. You know what? I'm going to make that bet right now before that number disappears. Because I don't think it's getting. Do you think it's getting?
Smart move. It's not getting higher, and it's the highest on market, so they'll probably move that.
Yeah, so there I'm in at 24-1 on Cam Young. Done it. Pulled the trigger. So I'm in on him. I bet Nikolai Højgaard this morning at 66-1.
That might be of. You listed like a bunch of your like quick hitters. That might be the one guy that sneaks onto my card there.
He is, well, I looked at distance and I looked at ball speed. He's 3rd in distance, 5th in ball speed. He just finished 4th last week in Dubai. So he's played both the Dubai events and he's been just kind of flirting around. He was top 20 in both the DP World Tour playoff events with a top 5 finish. He almost ran down Rory and Fitzpatrick in the finals. He was in that final group with them. Comes 4th to Reed last week. He was 2nd at this event 2 years ago in his debut. So it seems like a spot where he's at least somewhat comfortable.
And you don't feel like splitting that up on both of them?
Not really, because the numbers are way different. One is 40 and 166.
I was kind of joking. There was that moment, though, where it's, how to put this? You'll like the other guy is like peaking, and for a moment you think you're on the right one.
I mean, I know my letters, so that's not that big of a problem for me.
I'm not always looking for the, looking at the last name. Like, yes, Brothers Højgaard. I agree. Nikolai would be the play here for me. And,
they both could be a play.
I could have a slew. My fucking card is going to be international, other than like one guy, I think.
Well, the past 5 years,
last name is international, but he's not. But like Ludwig, Thorb,
Thorbjornsson, yeah,
Pendy, Pedersen, Hoj. Who is? If Penge didn't change the clubs, we'd be on him.
Well, Penge also opened at 50, and he just missed 2 weeks with a mysterious illness. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but this would track to be a perfect course for Marco Penge in his debut.
An incredible course for Marco Penge, but I'm not betting a guy who just switched to PXG off a multi-week illness.
Hey, I've been sick for 2 weeks. I play PXGs. Bet me.
I don't want to... And it took like a lot of time to get you right.
Took like 2 weeks.
I don't know, whatever. He could win here. I'd rather bet Penge than Brooks. I don't even think that's a hot take, but their number's the same.
Correct. So you got Nikolai at 66. I wrote up Cootie. I thought Cootie would open way bigger than 66, but he is.
Who could be hyper fair?
Who?
For the course. Wyndham.
I completely agree. He's in this range that we're talking about right now.
Like, would you rather bet Wyndham or Ryan Gerard?
That's interesting. Probably Ryan Gerard right now.
Yeah.
That's just a gut reaction to the entire thing. Like I liked both them coming in. Just feels like Gerard is closer. But Wyndham had a pretty nice week at Amex, and then he made a bit of a run, then he just fell back on Sunday.
Who the hell else is betting Nørgaard Peterson?
Everyone who bets on golf is probably betting him.
That's not true.
Anyone who pays
anywhere.
Anyone who pays attention to this stuff is like, oh yeah, Rasmus Nørgaard Peterson. Oh, Bomber? Yeah, let's play him at a Bombers course. 75-1, perfect. What'd you think he was going to open at?
The best I can see is 66, and I thought higher. And I forgot Sam Stevens finished third last year, but I was very surprised to see 55-1. But he played well last week. He had a place the year before, so
I like Sam Stevens this week. I think. I mean, I really do want to bet Thorbjornsen along with you. I think at the same number, I would take Stevens.
Sorry, I'm doing that again. That's me thinking. I'm excited. Like, I haven't been excited to bet golf yet this year. I am right now.
Theegala.
Excited to watch golf. Sorry, what'd you say?
You said Theegala notched a top 10. That's back-to-back 2 good starts to start the year for Theegala. This is a spot where we were betting him at like 40-1 2 years ago.
Yep. You're not the first person to bring him up to me this morning, and I've seen it as high as 100. And I when it was brought up to me, I feel like my reply was I didn't even think about him, and I swear I might have bet him at like 30-1 here a year ago. If that tracks. And then I was reminded he actually played quite well here a year ago, or fine.
Last year's a tough one because the wind was out of control bad last year. That it kind of like it was the first time, just looking back at the scores, like the winner here is usually -13 to -15. Like Rose got himself to -21 one year. Like Harris English won at -8 in bad conditions last year. The last time it was like that was that stupid year that Snedeker won when he finished on Sunday and everyone else finished on Monday and he won at 6 under. So that type of player, you know what I mean? Like we might be overlooking, like Harris English he plays long, hard courses really well. I'm not taking that away from him. And he played by far the best of all the guys on Sunday last year and was able to keep it together during that final round. But normally you don't see a winning score that high.
Snedeker, the beneficiary of multiple like Foss wins.
What was the other one?
Winning in Canada when Hunter Mahan left up a touchdown because he's having a kid.
That's right. He also won at this course in 2012 when Kyle Stanley made a 7 on the 72nd hole. He kept spinning it back into the water from 100 yards out.
I'm not like anti-Brand. He seems like all-around great guy, lovely guy. But as we relive that, like just a bunch of Foss, Brandt, Snedeker victories just flew through my mind.
How many wins do you think Brandt Snedeker has?
A lot. He's at a level, Pat, where like the only thing that could change your opinion of him would have been a major, literally. Like there's a period where they're very much like Kuchar. Like there's just like not another event, even a WGC. Like he could win and your opinion of him wouldn't be elevated. It would remain the same. He was in a level where the only thing he could have done to make you more impressed by him would have been a major. How many wins?
9.
I would have guessed like 14, so I was wrong.
He did win the FedEx Cup, though.
I think I worked with Cam for an era where he bet Snedeker like for 8 straight years to win the Masters. And a couple times he was almost close.
Well, Cam always tells the story of when he was there at the Masters, covering the Masters that year.
Oh.
The Snedeker came 3rd, I think. It was one of the very first years.
Yeah, Snedeker was like nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, sometimes that's all it takes. You wonder, like, that's all it takes for the guys on the ground eating the Michelin star food.
We have to tune into Fantasy Golf Degenerates tonight because Kenny did just go to a Michelin star sushi restaurant. I think he's giving his review of it. on the show. Like Kenny Eats might be the show where if somehow we can get Cust and Kenny to start going to places together.
Maybe. My wife went to a 1-star on Friday. I wasn't there. With her friends. But yeah, no, I've been to Michelin star restaurants. I've been to PGA Tour catering. Just saying, they're not quite the same. The Gala 100, I mean, in terms of like aiming for a player ceiling who could, get around here pretty good. I don't think that's a horrible, like, find me the 100-1 winner.
Looking at overall strokes gained, I'm on the rabbit hole right now. I believe the Fantasy National is updated, but we were having a problem with the dual login last week. So everyone had to, if you didn't get your login to BetSperts last week, you had to email support@fantasynational.com. This was articulated on the site through email, through text, and in my newsletter. But, people sometimes don't read those things.
Listen.
So, what?
Sometimes, just the message doesn't get through.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying it again, and then people will hear me say it and then be like, I don't know what to do. Support at fantasynational.com. If the two emails like don't log up with the password, then you can go get your password for the rabbit hole right now. Although I believe that Fantasy National is updated at the moment to just work functionally again because they were updating it last week. Anyway, I went to the rabbit hole and I sorted by last 18 months strokes gained on long to very long courses. Harris English does rate out number 1. Your boy Ludwig is number 3. Mav is. We didn't really mention Mav at all. He's number 5. He's the guy who lost to Ludwig at the Genesis last year.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think like of that whole range, had you not brought up Goddard, I feel like we just completely ignored Spawn, Decky, Mav, pretty much English and Keys. Like there's that whole range.
I think I would want to go.
I'd rather play ahead of them with like you're playing Cam. I'm playing Ludwig, and I'd rather play behind them. Like that's just my calculus on how I'm building a card once I'm betting Ludwig.
I like Spawn here. I like Spawn in California.
Hard to argue that.
I believe he's played well here, like even before he was good.
I guess this might be a dumb thing to say, but I don't know. Recent U.S. Open winners would probably take like the Wyndham 55, but I don't think I'm going to get there.
You would play Clark over Spawn this week in the recent U.S. Open winner bracket?
Yeah, if I had to play that market, Brooks would be in there, and I'm probably forgetting someone, but Justin Rose?
Yeah, Justin Rose would be one of them. Rose is 50.
Yeah, not for me per se. Shit, there was someone I just wanted to ask you about.
Last year, Spawn was 15th here. He was 9th here in his debut in 2017 as well. So he does have that very important top 10 that I was talking about. I feel like I bet Wyndham Clark here a bunch of times. I have no idea how he's ever played.
Does Davis Thompson play well on hard courses?
Does Davis Thompson really ever play all that well? I guess
I don't know, but sometimes I see a generational flusher, and it can cost me money.
So what tournament? What was it? The Genesis last year that he was like running away with, the one that Ludwig won, and then he just disappeared from the leaderboard at the turn.
I don't remember.
I think he was going into the final day. I think he was.
Say that, I'm going to want to bet. If that's true, I might want to bet him. No.
See, Genesis Invitational. He came T13. I'm pretty sure that's what happened last year. Let's see here. Where are you at?
And people mad. Just remember last year's Jenny was at Farmers because of the store.
The fires at the Palisades. Yeah. Okay. So Davis Thompson last year, he led after 2 rounds and he shot 76 in the 3rd round. But I think it all happened on the back 9. He was like running away with it. If you just search Davis Thompson's name and put in like a filter from that week last year, it would just be like Davis Thompson can't lose, and then came 13th. That with Michael Kim.
You reminding me of this makes me more inclined to bet him. That might make me a sicko, but that just means like he can feel really comfortable here, and his game could work. Have we crossed 100 yet?
We haven't. Do you want to?
No, I just I'm not in a rush to. I'm not going to bet him, but I feel like, Thorbjorn The other Thorbjorn would be pretty good here too. But
Olesen? Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I always just feel like in that cluster of Europeans, I feel like he's going to be ignored, and I feel like he's going to pin stock. But that's just never for me. I'd rather bet the cooler guy with 3 names.
The guy who hits the ball a mile.
Yeah. The same price.
All right. 100 plus. Johnny Kiefer for me. I already bet him. 125 to 1 with 8 places. I was thinking about Michael Brennan too.
Second. I swear I saw his number way lower than that too.
There was a 150, but I couldn't get any each ways on it.
Andrew Novak's 110 to 1. I mean, I don't know if he's going to win, so it's just naming a name, but he seems to. I did bet him last week at 180. He seems to just play well always.
Yeah, I can get behind Novak. I don't know if I'm going to get there. Christoph Reiten, are we writing him off after a terrible Sony Open?
No. That was the next one out of my mouth. I just don't. He didn't play last week, right?
He did not play last week, no.
Yeah, I might just be a sucker, blind in on Reiten. I don't know if he can go full Pavon though.
He's a better player than Pavon, so maybe he can.
I agree, but Pavon, I don't think Pavon was still I don't think Pavon was some insanely priced underdog.
He was 100 to 1.
Yeah, I think it was 150. It wasn't 500 to 1 or something. Obviously he's a big underdog, but wasn't a total moonshot. Haotong Lee just striping it.
Yeah. I mean, the guy can't hit a fairway to save his life, but I don't think this is a course where that matters all that much. And he misses to the right almost more often than anyone else on tour. Again, not that big of a deal here. We've seen Mark Leishman win that way. I like Haotong.
Yeah, he could fit on my international card. He might fit on that. Tempting, although I don't know if I believe he can actually win, as I'll bet my own losers. Yeah, Kiefer, what'd you say?
I had him at 125 with 8 places.
Yeah. And this isn't this isn't single A, but ADDC.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about him.
Yeah, he's dominating the single A circuit.
Okay. So you hope he's like that Jays pitcher who they called up for the playoffs.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? No, he's had enough reps at the big time. I mean, I could just name more Europeans who mash at a mile.
Are you betting any of these guys?
Yeah, I think my card is going to be hyper international.
Sure, no, but with the guys that you're talking about naming more Europeans, are you going to bet any of these guys?
It depends if I have money left. This is the first time this year I'm actually betting someone in front of 50 to 1.
So no.
Well, I just might not have money left. Reiten, yeah. But I don't know. By the time we get to Svensson, probably not. Probably not.
I believe Jesper Svensson was on that 20K winning lineup last year for me.
Oh, good vibes. I see that lanky South African kid is here.
Lamprecht, another one of Cust guys. Christo Lamprecht.
What do you mean, Cust guys?
He's liked Lamprecht ever since he played in the Memorial. I was watching the Memorial with him. He's like, this guy's 7 feet tall. He's the best. I can't remember the last time he made a cut. Yeah, Christo last made the cut at the RSM Classic in 2024.
Do you know which player was when I was watching football yesterday, they previewed the Farmers next week, and they showed a player in the graphic.
Ricky.
No.
Finau.
Yes.
Boom. It only took me 2 to get there.
No, yeah.
Finau
I don't think
sucks.
it would have taken you long, but yes. Once you remembered he's playing, yeah. 180 to 1.
They must have done those well in advance because I couldn't imagine if it was me and I was trying to market the Farmers Insurance Open. I'd be like, you know who's playing? Brooks. He's back from Live. Let's put him on there.
100%. Like Brooks and Xander.
Even Xander, whatever. Just Brooks.
Sure. Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right. Brooks is back. Jim Nantz. Jim Nantz could have done a great read.
Is he
doing
doing
the side he's on?
Is he doing it this week?
Probably. Isn't this do they not do this on Wednesday now?
They did. They had been doing it on Wednesday the past few years because it was on the same week as championship weekend, but now it's not, so it's back on Thursday.
Okay, that makes sense.
They smartly did not go head to head with the AFC and NFC championship games. Although if it was an East Coast event, you could do that because you could start it early like they kind of do with Phoenix and try to get it all done before the first game. But I think there's not enough time being on the West Coast. At least in Phoenix next week, the Super Bowl doesn't start till like 6:30 Eastern. You can get it done by then.
Get it done. I'm usually the guy that knows this. Who has the Super Bowl again?
NBC, I believe.
Great. Yeah, all right. The Tirico and Collinsworth. Okay.
Not being like, oh, Jim, Super Bowl, here we go.
I could be wrong.
They should bring Romo to golf, get him all fired up. Oh, here's feet out.
I don't think Romo was horrible yesterday.
He was.
It's improvement.
It's like someone talked, but it was such a stark contrast. Like Brady was really good.
Oh, like you can tell he got like a stern talking to or something?
Well, it did come out because the Bills-Broncos game was like especially bad for Romo. He did say like he was pretty sick while he was doing that game. And I know that I've done a few shows when I've been on like cough medicine and it's just, I'm wacky.
I will be an apologist like for being on the other bottle, not like the bottle, but
the NyQuil bottle or the Dayquil bottle. And the Tussin.
We've all been there, and okay, fair enough. He was markedly better from week to week, and his bar seems so low that like a average performance I thought was quite good. So I criticize him a lot, but I'll call the balls and strikes on that one.
I know I mentioned his name that I wrote him up, and he's 66 to 1. I just want to swing back to Pierce and Goody for a minute. Goody's playing good golf.
Really good golf. And now we're on a course fit. And for the same price, you could bet Patrick Rogers.
Patrick Rogers, third at the Genesis last year.
One day.
Someday. It'll happen. Where do you think it happens? If you had to call a tournament for Patrick Rogers, although 2 weeks ago on the show with Keith, that he called Maverick McNealy just fancy Patrick Rogers, which is my favorite take of all time.
No, isn't that such an insult to McNealy, who's already like...
He won the RSM. Great.
Okay, fair. Yeah, well, I was going to say two-time winner, but I couldn't find the second win.
Could be this week.
I don't know. Isn't he just like truly discount Tommy Fleetwood, or that's like so mean? Or that's like way too nice a compliment?
I feel like that's way too nice. Like Tommy's a prodigious winner, and he's the third-ranked player in the world. Like he's overseas. Dude wins. It's not like he hasn't won in 14 years when he played at Stanford.
I don't even know I don't even know. He's almost like on his own. Like he's the guy that will comp the next generation's Patrick Rogers to.
Is he this generation's Brandon DeJong, who ended up with the most money ever without winning? I think Patrick Rogers holds that title now.
Listen, I lost a lot of money on guys like DeJong and Dillette. Ready for their breakthroughs.
I have two guys deep down the board.
We're pretty deep now.
I actually got three. I actually bet on one of them. I bet on Captain Phillips at 350 to 1.
Okay, yeah.
The 8 places.
I thought you were going to give me Potgieter there.
Potgieter was going to be the other one. He's 225 to 1. Why not? Like this is the type of course where you want to play him. He won last year. He was the leader after 54 holes here.
Phillips, I'm seeing some like insane numbers. But yeah, no, this is where
it all started.
Yeah, I mean, I can expose myself, but which one of the young kids is it, like Celinda or Castillo that just hit it a mile, or neither?
I believe that is Tricky Ricky who hits it super far. I know, maybe it's Celinda. Celinda's 18th in driving distance, 26th in ball speed. So he is the one who hits it a mile. I think Castillo has more of like an overall game. Although they keep calling him
many times. For some reason, I've made them the same person, except I know one used to wear like a seashell necklace.
That's Ricky Castillo. He wears the seashell necklace. He is 35th in driving distance. So they're both pretty good driving distance wise.
Yeah. Boy,
they keep calling
600 to 1.
Toasty was again a part of that winning lineup. Here's the problem. The Bombers really excel at the North Course. When the conditions get harder, you can't just bomb your way out of it. You need like a real game.
Yeah.
At the South Course. That's why you see so many of these like top end, what you said, like major championship type of players end up doing well. And hopefully you can sneak someone by inside the top 10. That can work. Like that's the play on Phillips. It is to win, but it's not to win. It was sort of like the Basho bet from last week. It's like, yeah, he's not going to win, but he could come 7th. Why not? He came 10th. That Phillips could be in that same sort of stratosphere this week. I have no reservations about him like actually winning this tournament.
Yeah. It's like, obviously guys that I believe have a certain major championship skill set and guys that I believe are like poor man's versions of those skill sets that could obviously like never actually like win a major. But here their game like could F pretty hard. Like Luke List.
Hey, Luke, that was the best feeling in the world, having bet on List and Zalatoris and seeing them both in a playoff. That so rarely happens.
So rarely. And it was like you versus probably like the whole community, because that's when like everyone was just betting Willie.
Yeah, I almost kind of wanted Willie Z to win because I would have won too, and then everyone could have won. I think I had an each way on List anyway that I probably would have won more.
We're too in deep on the List brand. I just needed it,
Especially
because you don't want to, then like you become Patrick Rogers, who like never wins.
True, but the problem with Rogers is that he's been hyped as this like, because he came out of college, he was supposed to be the next big thing. Like he broke all Tiger's records. Yeah, but he broke all Tiger's records at Stanford, and like he's going to be the next guy. And that was over a decade ago now. And people still talk about him this way. Luke List was just some guy who hits the ball a mile.
On that note, because, I don't think I have anything else to say, so we can quick picks and go home. But speaking of like the next big things, I guess like you could, the PGA Tour and the PGA Tour U, and it's a nice little pathway, that have shown a lot of these young guys to get their cards and make a lot of money quickly. Blades Brown this weekend. But we saw Liv, right, do the one thing that I actually might like watch them for potentially.
Name the guy they signed. What's his name?
Sasso. But that's just because he was on Mad TV.
Yeah, Will Sasso. Yeah, he got into a feud in WCW with Bret Hart at one point.
No, I know. Yeah, no, but like I would watch Ballesteros versus Sasso. But listen. The thing is, these guys like would have had big sponsorships, but they're so young. You just take the bag and you can still figure it out after the fact.
Michael La Sasso is his name, not just Sasso. It's La Sasso.
Like would have gotten there.
Maybe.
I bet you I would have gotten at least the La Sasso if you actually pressed me on it. Yeah, listen, it's an interesting play, but as we see regularly through the PGA Tour season, the guys that they make the laneway for, there's they can go capture the magic as well. I don't know. It's tough. It's a lot of money right away. So it's, I don't want to bag on the kids. I think it's the right move for Liv.
I have no problem with it. I would probably do the same thing. And that is what Liv should be doing. But Liv feels absolutely rudderless at the moment. Like, what's the point of Liv right now? Like, it didn't work. They disrupted the PGA to make the PGA better. Like, congratulations. Like, that's awesome. But now the PGA is just churning out a much better product than they were 3 years ago.
100%. It sort of just feels like, I don't know, what was that, like 80s football league? Like that Trump was in, like the USFL? Where like, sure, they've like have some paid mercenaries that they got in there. But in the end, I don't know, to call it minor league is too insulting because there's too many good players there. But it is as if, even for a moment to think that they were ever like actual competition, like that is so over.
You know what live is in the golf stratosphere? The MLS.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like they have Messi, they got Beckham at one point, but like they're playing against maybe some guy who grew up down the street with me too.
Yeah, I mean MLS apparently has like really upped itself over the last few years, and those franchises are worth a pretty penny. And it has been, I'd argue, in like 1997, no one would have thought it'd be as successful today as it is. But it also could be like a bit of a Ponzi scheme, like the WNBA.
Well, is the WNBA a Ponzi scheme or not? Because those franchise values are worth a ton too.
Well, that's like fraudulent.
What does that mean? How is it fraudulent? People are paying money for it.
I mean, like they are like those are just really rich people who like paying an extra 150 million don't really matter, and they're taking advantage of that so they can like, I don't know. I could like deep dive the Toronto situation specifically.
I feel like the Toronto situation is going to be a very good situation. I think that's going to be very successful.
I agree.
So
and
it's
as
probably
someone
worth
two
a
young
lot.
girls, we will go, but it still like could be a bubble. Does it actually make any money? Are those franchises actually worth anything close to what they're selling for now?
But hold on. If they're selling for that, that is what they're worth. People are paying real money for it. It's not like, hey, my friend's Bitcoin is invested in this. Like, no. And rich people aren't just throwing money away for no reason.
With some of this stuff, it's more like vanity, which is hard to tell. I agree with you. Like if someone's paying for it, that's what it's worth. But like they could be in a bit of a bubble.
Like people are putting their real money in this. This isn't like Bryson saying that Smash GC is worth $3 trillion when no one's ever put a cent into it outside of the Saudi government.
I mean, I'm not comparing these to those. I'm the Live franchise things are quite ridiculous. But it's also why you see in a lot of these leagues where like a lot of people are selling because they do believe it is the top. But you never know with these things.
But the MLS in the grand, like they can be worth money.
I like your comp. I think it's
like
the
MLS in the world of soccer just is like they have guys, but it's not like a great league by any means.
No, but they're also able to get some of the really good players like younger, unlike the MLS, who seem to only get like the good players in like the retirement package, like the DJ ones.
I would guess that the MLS still probably gets good American players like right off the hop. And then they go
absolutely.
To like the real leagues.
Because I think they get drafted there and then they play and they go sign unless they're like superstars. I don't even remember if that like Pulisic played at all in the MLS though, to be honest. Not
Quick
that you'd
picks.
even know who that is.
I don't. Cam Young, Nikolai Højgaard, Carl Phillips are the three bets that I have in right now. And Johnny Kiefer at 125 to 1. So I got those four. I'll have the full betting card either on the show with Keith or I'll release it in the newsletter on Wednesday night. But I'm floating around Goddard, Gerard, Cootie. I mean, that's kind of like Spawn does have my interest. Wyndham Clark, as you mentioned, does have my interest as well. Sam Stevens. I need to filter those through. I need to talk to a few more people and really get it figured out.
I don't know. Big Boy Track. My guys who I trust, I think. Ludwig, Pendrith, Thor Bjornsson. I like your Nikolai shout. Rasmus Niergaard Peterson. Going to be pretty full. Going to be heavy international. I'm excited, even if I don't sound it. Davis Thompson, because you sold me on it, even when you were.
I sold you on it?
Yeah, your insult sold me on it.
That he was good for 2.3 rounds here last year?
It's okay. We'll build on that. We're not just going to be a John Deere merchant.
We'll see about that.
We might be.
Good luck to you. Maybe he could be fine with this week. One and done. Cust, as I mentioned, is taking Taylor Pendrith. You okay?
Yeah, I hate when I really like someone and I really like the event, and he comes out with something that I think is like too sharp for him.
Why do you think that? I would argue that Taylor Pendrith at 40-1 is objectively bad odds.
Oh, 45, but don't
Still,
worry about it.
Like,
What do you mean? Guy is going to crush it. Long, straight. I trust him to hit some putts. I think this is like a wheelhouse situation for my guy.
I think this course is too hard for him.
Okay, that's the other thing, because I talk out of both sides of my mouth with Pendy, because when we get to like the easier events,
you're like, perfect. You can just say you like Taylor Pendrith, but like,
he excels in these shitty events. He excels, people.
He had like one good tournament ever, didn't he?
That's not fair.
Like
if we're gonna mark it up as like the tournament he won, then I could say that about a lot of golfers, that they had one good tournament ever.
Okay, let's see here. He was 6th at the Sony, so that's good news. 5th at the PGA Championship last year. 5th in Houston. He was 7th here a year ago, and then he was 50th against like all the hard guys at the Genesis. 9th at Pebble Beach.
If they're charging you 50-1 for Sam Stevens, I don't feel I'm getting ripped off. And I might bet Sam's like you. That's one like just got to do way many more laps around. Like, because Sam Stevens not getting to 45-1. So I don't feel like I'm going to miss much.
I would rather bet Rasmus Nergaard Peterson than Taylor Pendrith.
Buddy, I'm going to bet them both.
Okay.
Thor Bjornsson, who I mentioned. Yeah, Thompson, Peterson.
Who are you going to take as your one and done?
Oh, yeah, that's where we were.
Yeah. I'll take McNealy since you're not taking him.
Yep. Wyndham. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Let's play him while he's in form. Yeah, okay. I won't miss that.
Perfect. Talk to you later for
burning them. Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way I'll like regret burning them. No way.
Yeah, probably not. We're kind of where I'm at with Mav. Where else am I going to use him? It's not a signature
The
event.
Open Championship.
That's right. I totally forgot that he's going to win the Open Championship this year. That slipped my mind.
And Cust gets priority, so he'd snipe you on that anyway if you were saving him. So.
That is true. He always gets first pick in all of these things. But all right, that'll do it for us. Torrey Pines, the research show is already out. I'll be back with DraftKings picks live on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday morning, me and Keith will break down the final word on the Farmers Insurance Open. I might go live again on Wednesday night. I got sick last week, so I wasn't able to do it on Wednesday evening. Plus, Jeff, my house is in shambles because the renovation continues. I have no first floor of my house right now. No fun.
Your renovation in like an ice storm. That's,
Just being at home, I'm out of my groove.
Yeah, 100%.
No kitchen is tough living in a house.
Yeah, that sucks. And then you never know with these things. It's like you always maybe got to show up with a little cash to like grease the wheel to keep this thing moving on pace. Just like, let's go, boys. Let's go.
I had to grease the right wheels with some of the neighborhood kids to shovel my driveway this morning.
Listen, that's how it works. I'm gonna go get out there again now that we're off.
All right. Well, at G Fienberg 17, I think we're going to be good for football tonight. So NFL awards, some Winter Olympics, a recap of football. It'll all be here with me, Jeff and Cust. So stay tuned on Mayo Media Network. All right. I'm Pat Mayo. We'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience.
All right.
Experience.